The armature modifier will automatically be added to a mesh when you parent that mesh to an existing armature. I'm going to set my armature deform with automatic weights, and the armature modifier is automatically added in my modifier properties. Toggling into weight paint mode, you can see how the weight is distributed with a fall-off for each bone. If we take a look at the object data properties, we'll see that two vertex groups based on the armature bone names have been added. By selecting each from the group menu, the weight distribution is shown over the mesh. Let's toggle back into object mode and select the armature. I'm going to pose one of the bones by rotating it slightly. I'll tab back into object mode, select the mesh, and take a look at our modifier properties. The object has been automatically set to the armature we parented the mesh to. Under vertex group, we can isolate the modifier to work on just one vertex group, or the inverse, that is, all the other vertex groups, excluding this one. Armatures are going to distort meshes, sometimes in ways which might not be correct. The preserve volume setting, for example, will reduce the pinching around a joint, as seen here. By default, the armature binding is set to vertex groups, but we can switch this to use the bone envelopes instead. In object mode, I'll select the armature, and in its armature properties, I'll switch the viewport display to envelope. I'll now tab into edit mode, and we can see the envelopes reaching out around the bone. By hitting Alt-S, I can scale these envelopes to have a greater influence over the mesh. I'll tab back into object mode, select the cylinder once more, and in its modifier properties, I'll deselect vertex groups and select bone envelopes instead. You can immediately see the difference in the effect, because this ignores the weight distributions assigned to the vertex groups and uses the envelope's own fall-off instead. Using the preserve volume setting will create different results. The multi-modifier option works best when there are more modifiers in the stack. For example, I'll duplicate the modifier we already have, and I'll set the first modifier to just work on the vertex group named bone. I'll set the preserve volume and bone envelope settings for this one. In the second modifier in the stack, I'll select multi-modifier and set the bind to vertex groups. Both modifiers are overlapping, causing some problems, but when the multi-modifier is enabled, the combination is corrected to give a more favorable result.